Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
Infowars has more than 15 YouTube channels and about 3 million subscribers. Our main channel has 1.854 or 1,854,000 plus subscribers. Now, they've been gaming the system for a long time to shut down nationalistic or patriotic media, saying we're right-wingers, saying we're extremists. Well, it doesn't matter who we are. We have a right to free speech, don't we? As long as we don't violate the rules. Well, now Zuckerberg has come out and said he's going to restrict conservative news like communist China does, calling it fake news. And Google, that owns YouTube, has announced, and they've done it now 2 weeks ago, that they're going to basically make you click the bell in your notifications. We're going to show you how to do that, or you won't get all the channels that you've subscribed to and you won't get the videos. Now, why are they doing this? It's more than just censoring. They want you to see the videos that they feed you below and beside the videos you're looking at that are corporately sponsored so they make more money. They're taking the you out of YouTube. So we're in this information war, and it's more important than ever that you promote the videos, that you like the videos, and that you send them on to others. Because the answer to the attempt to shut us down and restrict free speech that's openly now happening is for us to redouble our efforts. We're winning the culture war as true classical liberals that made this country great. We're restoring the Renaissance. So again, if you want to get our videos, so you can make your decision whether you want to see them or not. After all, that's why you subscribed. YouTube's had this since they started 12 years ago or whatever it was. And they're fundamentally changing it so you don't get it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is promoting fake news and trash news and establishment news. It's killing real independent news. But we the people, by taking action, can break the back of this system. So please, click on the bell so you get the notifications and so you get in your feed the videos and channels you've subscribed to. I'm Alex Jones for Infowars.com.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are kicking fake news's butt today. First, it comes out that Barack Obama's birth certificate appears to be forged. Shocking. Conspiracy theorists are right there. And then Julian Assange making statements that Russia is not responsible for the WikiLeaks. And of course, we'll have all that and plenty more for you tonight on the Infowars Nightly News. But I'd like to start out with a sad story. And this is real news that the dictator of North Korea, I'm sure, did not want to get out. This is from Mirror. Child chain gangs of North Korea exposed as kids as young as 5 are forced to repair railways. And you can see some of these images. They are very sad, very disturbing images. Kids being forced into hard labor. And my question is, where are the social justice warriors? Where is the UN? Where is the liberal news? Where is Obama? You know, I recall North Korea threatening the U.S., nuclear threats, and Obama said he would, be a tough guy in responding to those. Nothing from Obama. And now we've got children being forced into hard labor in North Korea repairing these railways. Very disturbing footage and images coming from them. And again, I ask, where's the liberal media? Where are the social justice warriors? Where is President Obama? Now, other sad images we are seeing coming out of Aleppo as children are begging to be rescued in a heartbreaking video from a bombed out Syrian city. Now, let's remember, who was it that called for Assad to step down? Who was it that called for Assad to be removed from power? That was the Obama administration. That was Hillary Clinton. And now what are we seeing? Now it looks like Syria is coming back. The Assad regime is taking ISIS out. And of course, this is why Assad needs to go, apparently. Assad needs to be removed from power because he's helping get ISIS out of there. Again, I'm not building up Assad as the good guy or the bad guy. I'm just trying to report on what we're seeing. But it is sad to see these kids now begging, these orphans, to be taken out of this city that has been bombed out. And again, you have to wonder, who is it that's calling for Assad to be removed from power? Where are those people now? And what is the Assad regime doing for Syria, for the people of Syria that don't want to be violent rebels like they have in ISIS? Now, this is a story out of Yahoo. Artificial intelligence creeps into daily life. Now, most of us already are aware that artificial intelligence is in our daily lives. If you see personalized ads when you browse the internet, you know that. When you see your GPS acting in real time with certain apps, you can see that. When you see the facial recognition technology built into Snapchat and other apps, you are aware of this. But now Mark Zuckerberg envisions a software system inspired by the Iron Man character Jarvis as a virtual butler managing his household. Now, I remember a certain Disney movie growing up. It was called Smart House. And basically, it's, the smart house. You could pretty much imagine what the smart house would be like. And in that movie, the smart house goes completely haywire, basically traps the family in, and they have to shut the smart house down. No surprise there. Now you've got automated restaurants opening in New York City. So you've got your smartphone, you've got your smart house, you've got your smart car. Now you've got your smart bar. The problem is what you got is a bunch of dumb humans. There are no cashiers, and you order on an iPad or your phone. The meal appears in a little locker. Customers tap to open the door for their meal. You better love the vegetarian menu, and the bowls cost about $7. So there's your $15 an hour, folks. You won't have a job. It's going to be a machine. That's your smart bar for dumb people. And now, of course, they want the smart internet. And they've always said they want to model this after the Chinese model. Now, China takes action on thousands of websites for harmful and obscene content. China has shut down or dealt with thousands of websites for sharing harmful, erotic, or obscene content since April. The state's office for combating pornography and illegal publications announced Thursday. That's the key here for me, illegal publications. Pornography, you know what? Whatever they want to do with that, that's their own deal. But when they start censoring news, that's when we really take note of it. The government has tightened its grip on Chinese cyberspace in recent months, in particular placing new restrictions on the fast-growing live streaming industry. 2 popular news websites were also punished for spreading illegal content. Social media platforms have become a key tool for spreading illegal content and has allowed individuals to make big profits. Wait a second. Hold on. I'm starting to that sounds familiar. That's what they say about Alex Jones. That's what they say about Infowars. We're fake news. We're spreading all of this content that's drumming up controversy, and we're making profit off of doing it. Unbelievable. But what did they say? They want to bring in Chinese-style censorship. Now we're seeing what the Chinese are doing with their censorship and even having this internet social score. This is what they want to bring here, and we're starting to see the rhetoric filter in or get into our rhetoric in the United States. We need to cut this off at the head, folks. We know who the real fake news is, and I've always said this, and before I get into the Business Insider story, it should be up to the end user to decide what's real and what's fake. Why? That's the whole point of America. Why do I need to go to Big Brother to tell me what to do? It's just like what John Rappaport talked today about the SB 18, this bill in California that basically wants to put the state in charge of children. No, the parents should have the final say. I'm sick of these totalitarian power grabs that just determine that the state is always going to have your best interest in mind. I don't buy that for a second. But now Facebook is going to use Snopes, and other fact checkers to combat and bury fake news. Facebook is going to start fact checking, labeling, and burying fake news and hoaxes in its newsfeed, its company said on Thursday. Well, this is another accurate prediction of the fake news, which is what we're being dubbed. What I think they're going to do here, and we've had other people talk about this too, and they're going to use Facebook, Twitter, and I guess they're going to use Snopes. I mean, that discredits them. But they're going to use these social media platforms to verify what's real and what's fake. Now, we're about to have a report from John Bound talking about Donald Trump's cabinet, and I'll be talking about that later on in the news as well. But here's some of the headlines. Dollar climbs to strongest since 2003. The dollar rallied to its strongest level since 2003, up 1.2% on the euro, up 1.4% on the yen. Gold tumbled to a 10-month low. Also, keep an eye on that. Stocks rise as Dow nears 20,000. Financials gain more than 1%. Stocks are on the rise again on Thursday. They keep setting records night in, day out. The records keep hitting the stock market. Home builder sentiment spiked 7 points. Trump has them feeling fantastic. That's part of the American dream, to build your own home. But wait, I thought this was all fake news. They told you that the market was going to collapse. The economy would be collapsing. No, Trump has Trumpified the economy up.
Here are President-elect Donald Trump's picks for his presidential cabinet and top administration jobs.
It would be important, I think, that we express some of our interest in seeing how immigration is impacting Americans in their wages and their salaries and their national security and recent immigrants to our country through some of the policies that are being adopted by our country.
We worked our tails off to develop every fact we could, to tell the American people everything we could possibly glean, and we have been obstructed every step along the way in that effort. I dare you to go find another congressional inquiry where one party behaved in a way that was so deeply obstructive of getting the American people the facts that they needed.
At some point, you just can't cut costs anymore, and therefore you ultimately need pricing power and physical volume growth. And I think that's what's really lacking in today's world.
Since World War II, we've entered probably 5 major conflicts. 4 of those did not turn out well. If you don't know how to end the war will go on and on, the enemy will mutate, and the American people will understandably lose an appreciation for what it is they're fighting for, because it's not well articulated. So if you don't get the political end state right up front, you're going to be engaged in a war you don't know how to end in favorable terms.
This means letting states set their own high standards and finally putting an end to the federalized Common Core.
Why is it that the EPA presently is in the process of developing a uniform federal implementation plan that they're going to put on the shelf to then say to the states, unless you act a particular way, unless you act consistent with the rule, this is what you're going to get? That to me does not sound like cooperation. That does not sound like partnership. That sounds like the proverbial gun to the head.
We voted to repeal the president's health care legislation very early in this Congress. Now, if I had my druthers, we'd vote to repeal it every single week.
Many were injured, some seriously injured. But as one of the Iraqis said to me, sir, they'd run from the danger like any normal man would to save his life. What he didn't know until then, he said, and what he learned at that instant, was that Americans are not normal. With tears welling up, he said to me, sir, in the name of Allah, no sane man would have stood there and done what they did. No sane man. They saved all of us.
I'm here today because I believe in the rule of law. And I'm here today because I did the right thing. I'm going to enter this courthouse with my head held high, knowing the actions that I took were not only lawful and legal, but right.
You know, the problem with President Obama is we started with somebody at the top who really had no idea what it took to run something. Donald Trump is just the opposite.
It is going to be so critical right now. We must resist the temptation to take the easy way out and to passively accept what is fed to us by the politically elite and the media, because they don't know what they're talking about.
To be the CEO of a publicly traded company, there are leadership skills, management skills, certainly fiscal responsibility, and those are skills that I think are lacking in Washington. Yeah. I don't think we can spend our way out of debt. I think we have to bring the debt down and stop the spending we're doing, and someone with business experience has a better shot at that.
All these energy gains and our economic dynamism are at risk if we fail to seize this historic moment. We have no reason to keep policies in place that reflect an age of scarcity and fear.
Basically, Mitch's opponents, his left-wing opponents, can't defeat him on policy issues, and so they resort to racial slurs and questioning his patriotism. because he's married to me.
Our number one priority is tax reform. We're going to cut corporate taxes, which will bring huge amounts of jobs. We're going to get to 15%, and we're going to bring a lot of cash back into the U.S.
I want to say a few words about President Obama. We are facing the most dangerous terrorist threat our nation has seen since September 11th. And this president appears unwilling or unable to deal with it.
President Obama and Hillary Clinton abandoned Iraq. President Obama and Hillary Clinton drew a red line in Syria and then refused to uphold it. President Obama and Hillary Clinton watched passively as China and Russia filled the international leadership vacuum that they created.
As of today, 4 cabinet positions are still being decided on. That of the Director of National Intelligence, Agriculture Secretary, Secretary of Veteran Affairs, and the person that will embody Donald Trump's chief trade negotiator, the U.S. Trade Representative. Of course, the minions of the propaganda machine voiced a chorus of their disapproval.
We have to compare this, again to use John Cleese's line, this crew of a governmental pirate ship to Batman villains, all Batman villains.
And this morning, Rex Tillerson could also be the first Secretary of State in American history with zero government experience. The ExxonMobil CEO is now Trump's likely pick to be the nation's top diplomat. And already his business ties with Russia are raising concerns.
He nominated a wealthy CEO with ties to Russian oligarchs, and Tillerson is just the latest addition to a cabinet full of millionaires and billionaires that was already worth a total of $14 billion.
Trump continues to fill out his cabinet. Watching Trump pick these people is like watching your Nana get a sponge bath. You know it has to be done, but it's still upsetting. Yesterday, Trump named Scott Pruitt, Oklahoma Attorney General and sworn enemy of the EPA, to be the head of, what's the word? The EPA.
Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren. Appointing Andrew Posner to run the agency responsible for protecting workers is a slap in the face for every hardworking American family. And this from Senator Tim Kaine, the nomination of an EPA administrator who does not accept basic climate science is deeply troubling.
I think the bigger question from a policy point of view is who will drive economic policy in this administration. We still don't know who within the White House will be head of the National Economic Council, but these guys are not people who with experience in government in a way that leads you, even with like a Bob Rubin, I don't really have a sense of what policies they're going to carry out or whether.
We are now all rooting for his success in uniting and leading the country. The peaceful transition of power is one of the hallmarks of our democracy. And over the next few months, we are going to show that to the world.
Some peaceful transition of power. We should have known by now that President Obama meant the polar opposite of what he told the American public. John Bound for Infowars.com.
Three years ago, the Congress in the National Defense Authorization Act repealed the law that had been on the books for decades, barring the CIA and other agencies from engaging in domestic propaganda and disinformation. Over the weekend, they passed the Countering Disinformation and Propaganda Act that funds $160+ million to this new organization that will, quote, discover and counter with its own disinformation alternative media that they dub fake news. At the very same time, we see mainstream media claiming that Trump, myself, Tucker Carlson, you name it, are Russian agents, and that the American people really wanted Hillary Clinton, but the Russians somehow hacked in, and that's why Trump won. Yes, we've gotten Trump elected, but they're openly trying to overthrow that. Now more than ever, Infowars needs your prayers and your support, and I need you to take the articles and the videos that are on the site and realize you're the reason we're having such an effect. You're the power of Infowars. Get those articles, get those videos, get those special reports out to everyone you know. As we approach Christmas, I'm not even supposed to say that word now, our country's under such incredible thought police tyranny. It's important to be thankful, and I am extremely thankful to all of you that have prayed for us, that have spread the word about the broadcast, that have supported us, that have defended us, and that have financially supported us. We go out and search for the very best products, and we also develop amazing products and then bring them to you at very competitive prices. So when we have a sale, it really is a sale. That's why this week through the 17th, we can guarantee you'll get delivery before Christmas. Again, if you order by this Friday, the 17th, and you will get store-wide free shipping at InfoWarsStore.com. And on top of that, some of the biggest discounts of the year. 30% off Living Defense Parasite Cleanse, 50% off Colloidal Silver Bullet, and free shipping. That is just an incredible deal. Brain Force Plus, now with 20% more in each bottle and 30% off. $19.95, can't beat that deal. Winter Sun, Vitamin D3, 25% off. Survival Shield, X2, Nascent Iodine, again, an amazing 30% off. BioTrue Selenium, 30% off, and that's just some of the specials. Check them out today at InfoWarsStore.com or InfoWarsLife.com, or call toll free. The great crew will answer your questions, tell you about some of the other specials, and take your order if you'd like. 888-253-3139. And finally, from myself, Alex Jones, and the rest of the InfoWars crew and my family, I want to wish all of you a blessed and Merry Christmas.